I'm sorry, Elon, I still just don't know how to say that kid's name. On this episode of Unbillable, we're talking about Elon Musk's lawsuit against Alameda County. You're watching Unbillable. Listen, Elon, AE12? Are you crazy? Generally speaking, when I'm in my office, there are two parties I discourage my clients from either suing or getting sued by. One of those is the bank, because frankly, they usually have a lot of money. I mean, if you think about it, banks, they hold the money. And in litigation scenarios, money can be thought of as like the ammunition that keeps a fight going. The other opponent, and quite frankly, the more scary opponent that I discourage clients from facing off with when they're at my office, which again, I'm not in my office, I'm at home as I throw my dog's toy, is the government. You don't want to fight against the government. Again, like the bank, they have a large pool of resources, generally called like taxes, right? The tax base that the government collects can be used as the ammunition to fund a lawsuit, either defending against you or attacking you. So for the average client that comes in, litigation with a bank or the government is usually kind of a costly and expensive scenario that might not be the best route. However, in this scenario, we're not talking about the average client. We're talking about Elon Musk, a guy that's trying to build cars that are electric, not using gas power whatsoever, a guy that is trying to move the human race to Mars, a guy that has named his child, okay, I don't really know exactly how to say that. He's definitely a unique individual, but more than those kind of characteristics about like what he's doing with his business, remember, the resources that Elon Musk have might be similar to the resources of, I don't know, let's say a small bank, or maybe you could say a small government like Alameda County. It's interesting because Alameda County is the actual place we're talking about. The county that houses his factory building Tesla cars is the subject of this dispute between Elon Musk, the CEO, right? Effectively the man in charge, if you will, and the county. Now remember, the governor has placed orders that are making me stay at home and throw my dog's toy while I'm filming this episode of Unbillable, and those same orders would apply to a business like Tesla. However, Tesla and its production facility has been considered an essential business. So as Tesla ramped up to get things open, Alameda County adopted a law that they can make their own laws. Their laws can be stricter than the laws imposed by the governor, but they can't necessarily conflict with those laws. Now, according to Elon Musk and Tesla, there is a conflict, and because they're sort of conflicting in a way that he doesn't like, he's threatened to and now has filed a lawsuit, and he said he's going to move his plant and his business to Texas?
Hey, Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
No, I'm Texas.
You probably saw it on my face when I said Texas, that it's kind of just not my cup of tea, if you will. And listen, I know Luis is a Texas guy holding the camera. It doesn't matter to me. I'm a California guy through and through. The thought of going to Texas for anything other than a layover kind of generally freaks me out. Although I'll have some barbecue, not gonna lie, good barbecue. But the point is, this is not just about moving a business out of state. This is about creating leverage. This is about a battle that's raging. If you just open up your Twitter account, here we go again, you can see a state government assembly person, someone who wrote AB 5 tweeting things like this, and Elon Musk, a CEO, a billionaire, responding with this? Is that what we really come to? Maybe it is. Let's not even get into that. What we really have come to is a point where Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla, the CEO of SpaceX, someone who's created roughly, at least 10,000 jobs, that's how many are in the factory alone, has sued the state? No, sued the county of Alameda. Now, why would he sue the state? He has no reason to sue the state. Remember, the state considers him an essential business. The state's not standing in his way, it's the county. So he's suing the county. He's hired Quinn Emanuel, a large, relatively powerful law firm, right, to represent him to take on the government. Didn't I tell you not to do that? Didn't I tell you that I tell my clients to do that? But again, my clients aren't Elon Musk. My clients don't have the resources. They can't create the leverage with a tweet. We're not all the same, folks. We're not all the same. Elon Musk has that kind of power. And what he's done is he's hired that powerful law firm to file a lawsuit. And what does that lawsuit claim? That lawsuit claims 3 specific bases upon which he feels as though the law is not being fairly applied to Tesla or to him. So the first one is a claim under the 14th Amendment, right? Actually, the first two. 2 of the 3 are based on the 14th Amendment, and the first one's basically saying he's having his due process violated. What he's saying is there's laws that say he's essential and he can be open. There's laws that say he's not and he must be closed. He has no idea if he should be open or if he should be closed because there's so much conflicting information out there. It's not clear what he needs to do to comply with the law. So if it's unclear, if he doesn't know what he's supposed to do, how can he have due process? He doesn't. He has no due process. Well, of course, Alameda is going to say that it's pretty clear, right? But that's going to be the argument. The argument is, has he had due process? Has he had a fair opportunity to understand the law so he can comply with it? Remember, Alameda is saying they'll throw you in jail if you violate it. Think about that. Having your freedom restricted to a law that you don't even know or understand the details of, that you don't really think is clear, that's the argument that's being made in the first claim. The second claim is also based off the 14th Amendment, and the second claim has to do with equal protection. There's a neighboring county, a county right next door, that's allowing that type of business, the type of business that Tesla is in, to be open. It's allowing them to create product. It's effectively allowing them back in the marketplace, giving them an advantage over Tesla. So in that way, he's not being treated equally. He's not receiving equal protection under the law. And that's the second basis of his claim against the state. I was just getting way too hot over there. We had to move to the shade, at least a little bit shadier spot even. The third basis of Elon Musk's claim is that the federal law, the state law, the county law, it's a conflict. There's a conflict in the instructions, and that's a violation of the state constitution. So when I was putting this episode together, I thought, hey, look, we're going to talk about Elon Musk's lawsuit against the state of California, the potential loss of jobs, the impact this could have on the state economy. And then all of a sudden, the governor gave yet another speech, and in that speech, the governor actually referenced Tesla and his willingness to work something out. And that's the leverage that I'm talking about. That's the difference that I'm talking about. There's a reason I tell my clients you don't want to fight the bank. There's a reason I tell my clients you don't want to fight the government. But there's a reason I wouldn't necessarily tell Elon Musk to back down from them. And I think all of us are getting a up-close view at kind of what those differences are when it comes to leverage and power. Now, what it really boils down to, what the essence of this dispute is safety. Is it safe for those 10,000 employees to be returning to the Tesla factory? It's my understanding he's going to be doing checks of temperatures. He's going to be keeping social distancing in place. So he has some experience with his foreign factories in complying with laws that will help eliminate, or at least reduce, if possible, eliminate the spread of COVID-19. That being said, the state of California doesn't necessarily feel safe. And when it comes to safety, there's definitely an important government interest in keeping the people and the employees safe. So what do you think? You think Elon Musk should be able to open his factory if that's what he wants to do? Isn't that freedom? Or do you think the state should step in and say, hey, there's a limit on freedom. We don't want to put the workers and the people who are employed by Tesla in harm's way? It's an interesting thing because it's not just freedom. Everybody wants to say, well, he should be free to do whatever he wants. But what about those employees? Right now, with the stay-at-home order, with furloughs, they're not losing their job by choosing to stay at home. But once they give Tesla the right to open, if you as an employee feel like you don't want to go back to work, that could be a reason for you to lose your job. And if you are terminated from your job, you would lose those unemployment benefits. There's a lot at work here. Now, I got to give Elon Musk a little bit of extra props. I have been kind of probably gentle with him here on this episode. And the reason is he's gone out of his way to say if any of his employees don't feel comfortable coming back, that he won't treat that as them quitting their job, that he won't impose that punishment of taking their job away in a form of quitting employment for not showing up to work. And to me, that's a generous proposition. Is it generous because it's the nice thing to do? Not necessarily. It's generous because it's something he doesn't have to do. Earlier this week, I was arguing with people about whether it was appropriate for Chris and the Lakers to try to take those PPE loans. And I understand the people that don't want them to get those loans. I definitely get it. But their business is out for their own success. And when given an opportunity to be more successful, they're going to take that opportunity. And when you're given an opportunity to be more successful, you should take that opportunity too. And you can by subscribing, by clicking the button over there. And of course, catching another episode of Unbillable by clicking right down there.